After spending a week at Christie's, we camped over the weekend with them at Daisy State Park in Arkansas. We enjoyed a campsite next to the lake and several campfires to ward off the chilly temperatures. We enjoyed a short hike on the Daisy Creek Trail. On Saturday, we drove into the community of Glenwood to eat at the Fish Net. Anna, Eric, and I fished the lake one afternoon. We met Bo and Linda at Lake Bob Sandlin State Park. We had two excellent campsites next to the lake, but had chilly temperatures again. We enjoyed playing games and eating out in Mount Pleasant. From Inks Lake State Park, we drove to the town of San Saba and enjoyed walking in the city park. The town was settled in 1854. It is the birthplace of the actor Tommy Lee Jones. San Saba proclaims itself to be the pecan capital of the world. Pecan customers in the past have included Queen Victoria, Alfred Lord Tennyson, and the Post Cereal Company. We drove to the town of Fredericksburg to visit three museums. The National Museum of the Pacific War gave the background history that led up to the war and had several displays of paraphernalia used in World War II in the Pacific. We ate lunch at the Rathskelter restaurant and then toured the Pacific Combat Zone Museum and the Nimitz Museum. Then it was time for coffee and pie at the Fredericksburg Pie Company. We made one last stop before returning to the campground at the Pottery Ranch. We had a lazy day at the campsite playing games, and that afternoon took a short hike to the Devil's Water Hole. Being Easter weekend, the park was crowded with day use people who were enjoying urging others to dive off the cliffs. Our next stop was Pedernales Falls State Park. We took a short hike to the falls, but the water levels in the river were very low, so the falls were not very spectacular. It would be nice to be here when the water levels were higher. We made a brief stop at the LBJ National Historical Site. The Visitor Center was closed due to COVID, but we did stop at LBJ's birthplace and boyhood home. The state park and the national park near Stonewall, Texas, are jointly run. This was LBJ's ranch and the location of the Texas White House. The park consists of a loop drive with several stops. Adjacent to the Texas White House is a car museum and a hangar where Air Force 1/2 is parked. The President's house sits on a beautiful site overlooking the Pedernales River and was used many times for presidential meetings and barbecues, which LBJ loved to give. The grounds also contain the Johnson Family Cemetery, where LBJ and Lady Bird are buried. In Fredericksburg, we ate lunch at another German restaurant and visited an Amish store. We made a brief stop at the Wild Seed Farm store on the way back to the park. Today, we drove back to Llano, Texas along Highway 71 to view the bluebonnets. We ate lunch at an Italian restaurant on the square. On the way back to the campground, we drove the Willow City Loop to observe more wildflowers. We were also rewarded by seeing a white buffalo at one of several exotic animal farms along this route. The city of Lockhart, Texas, has two main attractions. The Dr. Eugene Clark Library was built in 1899 and is the longest continually used library in Texas. The Caldwell County Courthouse, built in 1894, is considered to be the prettiest courthouse in Texas. The unique feature of Lockhart State Park is its 9-hole golf course. While at this park, we enjoyed a short hike along the Clear Fork Creek Trail. Our final stop with Bo and Linda was Garner State Park. On our first day at Garner State Park, we took a scenic loop drive through the Texas Hill Country. The park is one of the most visited state parks in Texas. It's noted for its swimming and tubing in the Frio River. Bayford and I took a hike on the Blinn River Trail. This is an easy hike that follows along the banks of the Frio River. It is a great hike that displays erosional features along the cliff banks, several varieties of trees, shrubs, and flowers, and great views of the Frio River as it flows through this valley.